This chapter, oh my gosh, this chapter is one of the many reasons as to why I have written in my Twitter bio in all caps, read Eden Zero! Everything about this was just so immaculate and amazing and surprising as well. Eden Zero, one of the best stories on the market, boy. Enough with the Sadao Mao theme, though. It's time to actually get into the chapter. So this chapter begins with the Freak-a-Leak himself, Daichi, torturing Rebecca. He infects her with something called the Pains Tree, and what this tree does is it eats into its target and adds pain wherever it goes. And by the look on Rebecca's face, I guess this dude is telling the truth. Like, golly, that looks painful, and it also looks nasty. Like, you can see the branches through her skin just crawling up her face is nasty, bro. It kind of reminds me of that scene from The Mummy, if you guys have ever seen it, where that scarab is like crawling up that dude's leg and it's like eating through his entire body. That looks like it would be some gruesome and painful stuff. Speaking of painful though, Rebecca is in so much pain that she actually starts to cry, but this is to her benefit, because Laguna shows up and turns her into a puddle of water. Daichi is obviously upset at this because he loves torturing and Laguna just took his fun away. However, in response to this, Laguna says, "That woman belongs to the boss. Don't blame me when you get in trouble. You know how scary he can be." And I love this moment because it shows that the Element 4 are afraid of Drake and Joe, or at least Daichi is, and this is great because I never really got the impression that the Element 4 were ever afraid of Drake and Joe, but thanks to Laguna's comments and Daichi's reaction to said comments, it's safe to say that, yeah, they do actually kind of fear him, which is cool. Now moving on to Hamura versus Sylph, and I gotta be honest, I was a little bit disappointed in Hamura. She did not put up the best performance against Sylph, but I will say this, even though I'm disappointed in her fighting performance, I am pleasantly surprised that she knew how to work that pole, bro. I'm just joking, bro, but I am curious how she learned how to do that. I'm pretty sure Valkyrie did not teach Hamura how to work the pole. But back to the fight with Sylph, I genuinely thought that Hamura was going to wash Sylph. But I was completely wrong. I mean, she even brings out what appears to be Odin's strike, or maybe like a smaller version of it, and that is easily countered. And then in just a few panels later, she is now trapped inside of a ball of wind. So I guess one of two things happened. Either I was severely overestimating Hamura's capabilities, or I was severely underestimating Sylph's abilities. And I'm gonna go with option 2 because Hamura is the GOAT, okay? After that though, we get to the second best part of the chapter, and I will tell you in a moment why it is the second best, but let me just explain what happens first. So Old Man Sabir is looking after Weiss, and he's reminiscing over the good old days that he used to share with Weiss. But then suddenly, and I never would have guessed that this was going to happen, but Phi kicks open the door to where Weiss and Old Man Sabir are. And this entire scene has an aura of dread around it, bro, because I think we all knew what was about to happen to Old Man Sabir. And to be honest, this is why I think this scene is so great, because it has that dread feeling to it, and it made me genuinely worried for a C-tier character, bro. Old Man Sabir, I was like, listen, I may have put this dude on C-tier, but he doesn't deserve to go out like this, okay? He's a bit of a hero. But as soon as Phi walked through that door, Old Man Sabir's fate was sealed, bro. I mean, he walks up in there and just gives it to this dude straight. He says, "You know what happens when you harbor fugitives, don't ya, old man?" But Sabir at this point isn't even worried about himself. He's saying, please don't kill Weiss. He's still so young. And Phi responds by saying, "I ain't killing nobody." But then he pulls up the 9mm and continues by saying, "Unless they're a traitor." And Sabir is like, no, don't. And then all we hear is a shot. Now, I know that since we didn't see Sabir actually get shot, that there is a strong possibility that he is still actually alive. But in my opinion, that would be so whack if he was still alive, because this is the perfect catalyst to launch Weiss's character into S tier. A revenge story for this man Weiss? That would be so lit. So I'm kinda hoping, as bad as this sounds, that Old Man Sabir did actually die. But enough about that, and on to the moment that I have been waiting for I think 3 weeks at this point, bro. So Shiki is on the ground, right? And Jin is slowly walking towards him saying, "I was ordered to take you in, but I doubt leaving you alive would be in Draken's best interests." And then Shiki gets up on both feet, and he lets out the meanest and this boy turns it up to 100%, aka overdrive! And Jin is surprised by this, but Shiki doesn't waste any time. He immediately goes into a Magimech attack, Gravity Fist. Jin then recovers from his surprise and goes into a Skymech ninjutsu attack, Crushing Gale. And the both of them charge right at each other, but then Drakken comes out of nowhere and knocks them both out of their overdrive state. And he says, "That's enough, bro." But he then follows it up by saying that both Shiki and Jin were not actually in overdrive, because a real overdrive happens when you push your ether past its critical point, causing a change in the ether that makes up your body. And then this man goes into an insane looking transformation. Now to me, this means that Shiki and Jin's fake overdrive state is basically them going 100%. But the real overdrive is actually a transformation. And man, I wanted Shiki to get clapped up, bro, but it seems like this man is in for the beating of his lifetime. It's looking like it's gonna be brutal for this man in the next chapter. But anyways, that's gonna do it for me. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody!